Alright. I am late once again, but I have my reasons for being late this time. My computer was being dumb and I needed to restart it, so I had to fix it, and things seemed to be fixed. OBS was being weird too. My computer's on its last leg. I have a laptop that is 10 years old, and it turns 10 this year. Like, that's how old this damn thing is. I got it the year I graduated high school, or the year I started college. And that was, technically I think I got it in 2017, but it was like January 2017, so I don't count that. It is, however, on its last leg. So, here's hoping I can afford something new, a replacement, before it dies on me. Because I don't know how I'm gonna keep making videos if that happens. But I have to get reset up now because I was set up and ready to go, and then everything went to shit. So now I have to get reset up. Now I have to get reset up here. Give me a minute. And okay. Goodness me. God, I don't even know where to start. I suppose we can just get into the news for today, which is really just one thing in particular that I would like to discuss. It's from Fox News, but it's like a minute and 30 seconds long, so it'll work.
We've got several videos.
Okay. I'm sure this is gonna make me angry, but let's just get into it.
Showing the moment that an ICE agent fired his weapon in what ICE says was self-defense. For more on that, let's bring in Carrie Urban, Fox News legal editor and former counselor to Attorney General Bill Barr. Carrie, good to have you with us. And I think we want to just get a look at these videos. Let's do that right now. That's number one.
I don't understand how anyone sees this and goes, "Yep, totally justified." That's the way. Like, are we okay? I just yeah. Today's brought out the worst. Today's brought out the worst people. Okay, it has been just the worst goddamn day, and I made a post about this, but God. Okay. And I also have my predictions for this or about this because there's the sort of obvious expectation that this will make people care all of a sudden. Hold on. I'm going to bring the microphone closer for this one. There's this expectation that this is going to make people care, right? That this is going to make the general public start to care about what ICE is doing because they shot an American citizen and especially they shot a white woman. I think that is going to be. I think we live in such a misogynistic society that a lot of the people who you would see defend this or would see or you would expect to turn against this are going to be more inclined to want to like write it off, especially when they find out she was married to a woman. And this is just a small thing at this point, but it is something I've been thinking about. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if this is going to be the big thing that wakes people up. I imagine it'll wake a lot of people up, but for the most part, I don't suspect that the people you see, especially online in certain circles, I don't expect them to change their opinions so much based on this. They'll just say that she deserved it and they won't really care that much. I mean, that's what I've been seeing at least, but there is obviously the difference between the online person and the normie, I guess, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't want to spend too much time on this because I don't know what else to say other than it's unacceptable and it shouldn't have happened. And the fact that ICE just gets to go around, the fact that law enforcement in general gets to do this kind of thing, and people will immediately go to, well, it's a second decision. They felt like their life was in danger. And they never stop to be like, okay, but what about the victim? Like, was it not a split second decision for her? She saw some people run up to her car and start, pulling on her door. And at that point, she's thinking, okay, I was going to move out of the way. Like, she's trying, like, it's, and I hate that you have to sit here and, like, analyze all this bullshit to be like, well, oh, did she deserve it? Like, should she have, like, I mean, maybe he was right to make that decision. And it's like, no, he wasn't. Like, he just wasn't. My hottest fucking take, I guess, about cops and shit and law enforcement is that at the end of the day, they're the only ones in the situation that signed up for this. They're the only ones who left their house that morning, knowing that something could happen to them, knowing that that's part of their job, and yet they're the only ones who get to be like, "Oh, it was a split second decision, and I panicked and I shot them." Like, you signed up for this. You signed up for this. I don't know, like, I don't know what else to say. It's your job. You left the house knowing that this could happen to you. Like, maybe you just gotta eat it a little bit. I don't know, man. If the alternative is shooting someone in the fucking face, then yeah. So, that is my take on this, I guess. I don't really have much else to say. I mean, let me see. I had again, I was set up and ready to go and then I had to restart my computer. Let me see if I can find it. Also, ICE has killed someone else very recently too. But oh, and then one of the enlightened thinkers of our time, fucking Asmongold, got his ass out here like, oh yeah, rip bozo. They told her to get out of the car, and then she put it in reverse and tried to run over an officer and drive away. Comply with police and don't try to run them over. This angle shows it better. I don't think that like any angle you look at shows something that warranted someone getting shot in the face 3 times and killed, but that's my take, I guess. Controversial, I know. Also, not that I think it matters that much, but didn't they tell her to move and then also like someone told her to get out of the car? So she's getting like conflicting reports at that point. And again, they never stopped to consider what was she thinking? I don't know, man. I at that point there's like multiple people around me and some of them are, you know, in uniform and I don't know these fuckers and this is just getting crazy. Like, yeah, I'm gonna try and get the fuck out of there. Again, this really reminded me of Sonia Massey's killing and how that had an incident where the officers told her to take the boiling pot of water off the stove and she goes to do that and then one officer thinks she's gonna throw it on him and panics and shoots her and kills her and then proceeds to also not want to administer first aid and all sorts of bullshit and it's just very similar to what happened today. Interesting. It's almost like this is, you know, a problem with the system and not like an individual officer. And at least police officers get like a little bit more training than ICE officers, from what I understand. Not like much, but ICE officers are just. You could pick a random guy off the street and he's about as trained as an ICE officer is. So that's cool. It's awesome. No, it's sick. Um, this one. Oh god, I'm trying to get to the actual post here. There we go. Got like a freeze frame here, which I think shows exactly how much his life was not in danger. Crazy. Shocker. It's almost like he didn't need to kill her. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that shocking? Hmm. Hmm. Now, I thought she was trying to run him over. How does that work? When he is firing into the side of the car, into the driver's seat. How's that work? How's that work? Someone tell me how that works. Only one of the shots went through the front windshield, and it went through the corner of the front windshield. Fucking insane. fucking insane. Remember, they were claiming that multiple officers' lives were at risk, and it's like, oh, sure, dude. Ugh. People dropping stuff in my house. I don't know if you heard that. I'm in the basement. I just hate it. It's just so fucking. It's so fucking ridiculous. And I've already been having a difficult time just sort of dealing with everything we have done in Venezuela and blatant imperialist action. Yeah. Yeah, at risk. No, right? Oh, hey. No, it's been a day. It's been a day. Not vibing with it. Not having a good time. So, and then Trump's post was insane. I don't even want to bring it up, but I'm sure I can find it. Hold on. Let me see. Let me see. Trump's Truth Social post from today was crazy, but he's getting reckless. Like he's getting real loose with it. Ever since Rob Reiner, he's just kind of said fuck it. I mean, like Rob Reiner, um, Ilhan Omar when he talked about the whole conspiracy theory about her marrying her brother. Like he's really just running fast and loose with it. Hi. Sorry, I've got like two chats going and I need to like make sure I check Twitch as well. But yeah, the greatest, yeah. No, you don't think Asmongold's a great thinker? I mean, come on. Just yeah, based all the time. Oh, dude. What was I looking for? I was looking for Trump's post. Trump True Social. Oh god. You know what? I hate this account, but here. This is just normal. This is just normal now. Just getting my news from these goons are the ones who wear Punisher logos too, and their only excuses for committing extrajudicial killings in the street. Yeah, I just, ugh. It's so gross too. It's like the most like grossest version of fascism. But I've just viewed the clip of the event which took place in Minneapolis, Minnesota. It is a horrible thing to watch. The woman screaming was obviously a professional agitator, and the woman driving the car was very disorderly, obstructing and resisting, who then violently, willfully, and viciously ran over the ICE officer, who seems to have shot her in self defense. Based on the attached clip, it is hard to believe he is alive, but is now recovering in the hospital. The situation is being studied in its entirety, but the reason these incidences are happening is because the radical left is threatening, assaulting, and targeting our law enforcement officers and ICE agents on a daily basis. They are just trying to do the job of making America safe. We need to stand by and protect our law enforcement officers from this radical left movement of violence and hate. President Donald J. Trump. Yeah, he was so injured. This ICE officer was so injured that he was released from the hospital the same fucking day. Yeah. No, it's that's exactly what I think happened here. That's exactly how I think this went. Like he was walking literally he never even got knocked down. Like what do you mean? What do you mean? He's standing the whole time. Like, this is the officer right here. This is him. Oh, he looks so injured, bro. Look at him. He looks so injured. Get that man to a hospital right now. Are you kidding me? Fuck off. It's such bullshit. Like, they can't even make up a good like that was just Trump wanting to say some shit and wanting to get in. Trump has the worst case of FOMO I have ever seen. He cannot help himself. He has to be the person to say something. If he doesn't, he loses his mind. He has to be the person to say something, or else he can't handle it. So, love to see it, I guess, because he really just demonstrated how locked in he is to just saying whatever he wants and hoping that people will listen to him, knowing that they will. I was more injured from tripping in the parking lot in high school. No, for real. Like, I've injured myself more walking in my own house than this man was injured by this car. And yet, I'm supposed to believe that he was fearing for his life. Yeah, okay. Yeah, alright. That's chill. That's cool. I totally believe you. I totally think you're correct. And mind you, he's just firing in a residential neighborhood. She then, accelerates because she's fucking been shot and could have killed somebody in that instance. Like, this is a textbook case of escalating the situation. like this is the kind of thing where you see this example in a class on de-escalation and they're like, what would you have done differently in this situation, or what should this officer have not done? And it's like everything. It's everything. He should not have done like any of the things that he did. And I cannot stress enough how much this reminds me of the Sonia Massey killing, and how much I am hoping that we at least get a similar outcome in this one, where Sonia's killer was convicted. And I don't know exactly the details of that. I didn't follow the trial, but I do hope that we at least see a similar outcome here, because this was just ugh. I hate it. I hate it. There's nothing else to say. There's nothing else to say. And again, I've just been very irritated lately. We already are doing bullshit in Venezuela after we bombed Nigeria, and it's just like that. This is this is America at its core. Like, this sort of blatant bully fascism, imperialist action. Like, this is not new, but it is still very frustrating, and it doesn't get any less frustrating. It doesn't get any less infuriating. And I don't know. So uh I don't want to spend too much more time on this, because it's just going to make my blood pressure go up, and I was already having high blood pressure about this all day, because this really just ugh. This is the kind of shit that pisses me off beyond no doubt. And I mean, I'm sure it pisses a lot of people off, as it should, because someone was literally killed. Someone was literally killed because a dumbass ICE officer thought he was gonna had a power trip. It's not even that he thought he was going to get killed, because I don't think he did. I don't think he did. I think he just is an untrained fuck who can't help but want to shoot somebody. Like, this is not something that's new, you know? Like, this is not like a new phenomenon. And again, I will make my opinion on this very clear. I think that if you're a fucking cop or a law enforcement officer and you wake up in the morning knowing that you could be killed, like you could be killed. I think that at the end of the day, that's just, you just got to eat that. Like, that's just the risk you have to take. Like, that's just what you have to do. Like, take the risk, because your job is to serve and protect or whatever, right? Your job is to protect the American people. And yet here you are, killing them. Sick. Doing a great job, man. Obviously, ICE isn't supposed to even be protecting people in general, but that's a whole other topic. God damn. It's just gross. It's just gross. And then also just this woman had apparently she'd been married and her husband died, and now she's dead, and their child has lost both of their parents now because, you know, that's fucking great. Like, that's just, it's just fucking heartbreaking. And I just, because I want this fucker's face everywhere, dude. Like, this is the guy. This is the one. This is the piece of shit. This is the guy who did it. May he rot in hell for eternity. And fuck these pieces of shit. Fuck these cowardly, porky ass motherfuckers, okay? These goddamn fucking pigs are so fucking cowardly that they can't even stand behind their actions. They have to wear a goddamn mask. They don't wear fucking what are they called? Fuck. You know the word I'm looking for. The cameras, the body cam. They don't wear fucking body cams, I don't think. Um and they just look at this guy. Like, he just like, just fucking look at this guy. Armed to the fucking teeth. And keep in mind, his original fucking purpose is to come in here and rip immigrants from their lives, from their communities, because they're undocumented, and ship them back to wherever they came from in the most cruel and heartless fashion. And I know the money isn't good. I know you're not getting paid fucking bank for this. Yeah. All of a sudden they really like masks, right? All of a sudden they're really into masking. He's actually wearing it because he doesn't want to get sick. He doesn't want to, you know, spread any germs. He's being health conscious. Fucking cowards, dude. Fucking cowards. Like, take your fucking mask off. Take your fucking mask off. If you want to do this shit, take your goddamn mask off. The least you can fucking do is stand behind this shit. Did the Nazis wear masks? I actually don't know. Like, I'm not even joking. They might have. I don't think I've ever seen, a picture of Hitler wearing a mask, but like we all know what Hitler looks like, so I don't think so, but like y'all are more cowardly than the Nazis. At the very fucking least, I guess the Nazis weren't like covering their faces and being like, "You guys can't know who I am." They didn't give a fuck. They said, "See us, let it happen." Like, I think it's really funny how no one wants to admit that they're an ICE officer out in public. No one wants to be like, "Yeah, I'm an ICE officer. I work for ICE," because they know the reaction they'll get. So they just keep on keeping on. Wear their little masks. Try to act all private and shit about it. No, it's great. It's cool. It's everything. It's great. All right. It's just, I just hate it. It's just stupid fucking, ugh. I will say, this is the energy I've been on all day. Hold on. Hold on. This has been me all goddamn day. Just all day. Just all goddamn day. It's just been on repeat in my head all goddamn day. I can't. Because what the fuck? Like, this is it. Like, this is just exactly how I feel. I can't sum it up any more than this right here,
No more brothers in jail. Things are gonna get jail. No more brothers in jail. Things are gonna get jail. No more
Like, I wish,
brothers in
Like, I wish. Anyway. What else did I want to talk about today? I said we might catch up with Candace, but I don't know if I have it in me, man. Hold on. Oh fuck. Also, another person I have been wanting to look into lately because I don't understand this person. Um God, I'm sorry. I'm still thinking about it. I'm okay. I'm gonna be mad about this for quite some time, and I think that's acceptable. I think that's expected. I think that we should all be very mad about this for quite some time, and we should be protesting. We should be doing everything we can because literal execution in the fucking streets. Like, that's it. Like, that's it. So, okay, I'm done. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it at that. We're gonna move on. There's somebody who I personally do not fucking get, okay? I do not understand this person. I don't understand how how people find her appealing, because to me she seems very extraordinary. Like, And I also feel like she's someone that people think appeals more to women, but from the things she says, I feel like she has to appeal more to like young men, right? I mean, she's pretty and people get to watch her, and it's Brett Cooper. It's Brett Cooper. It's Brett Cooper. I'm done beating around the bush. It's Brett Cooper. I don't get her. I don't get her. Like Candace, I at least get. Candace has like. Here, I can take the microphone back now. Candace, I at least get. Okay, Candace has like a level of charm to her, a level of energy that just kind of draws you in, even if you're not on her side necessarily. You're like, no, I get it. I see it. Like, I understand why people like watching her. But why do people watch Brett Cooper? She's not getting, nearly anywhere near Candace numbers, but she does pretty well. She does decent for herself. Reacting to the craziest takes on Maduro's capture.
A dictator was literally kidnapped in the middle of the night by Donald Trump, and now the future of this entire nation rests in his hands. Now, the political right has very
which is insane, by the way. Like, I have also been trying to like do a video on this, to talk about kidnapping Maduro and everything in Venezuela, and it's very hard because I'm not the most articulate person. You've probably noticed that by now. But I try. And all I can really say is I am anti-imperialist. I don't support this action for so many different reasons, but at the end of the day, I think that what happened today demonstrates my concern, which is that Donald Trump, America, the United States government does not have the Venezuelan people in mind. They don't have the best interests of the Venezuelan population in mind. They're not doing this because they're good people. They're not doing this because they want to make a change or something. They're doing it because they want oil. And so they don't really care what happens to people in Venezuela. And Donald Trump didn't give a fuck when one of his own citizens was executed in broad daylight by an ICE agent today. In fact, he really just said, fuck her. So, if he doesn't give a fuck about her, why does anybody think he gives a fuck about Venezuelans? I don't get it. So, yeah, I don't know. That's my hot spicy take on that one, I guess. But back to Brett Cooper. Like, let's give me something, girl. Give me anything. What have you got?
legitimate, nuanced questions about what this means for regime change and America First. But on the left, well, they have done a complete.
Wait, what did she just say? Hold on.
Questions about what this means. The entire nation rests in his hands. Now, the political right has very legitimate, nuanced questions about what this means for regime change and America First. But on the left,
are you gonna tackle those questions? Is she gonna just skip over those questions? Because I don't know. Listen, I'm here to find out why people watch Brett Cooper, but let's say I am a potential Brett Cooper watcher. I want to watch Brett Cooper because I want to watch a young woman give me political takes. I'm interested in the perspective of the average young woman, and I'm hoping that Brett Cooper can give me that kind of perspective. She's not even going to dive into those questions. Maybe she will. Maybe she will. I'll give her time. But the fact that she's immediately getting into what the left has been doing kind of gives me an inkling of where this is going to go. Unfortunately, the hypocrisy of the right is part of their entire game. They don't care about the lies. Yeah. Nope. I know. It's just. It bothers me because I'm a person who ultimately cares about reality, I guess, and like the truth. And we live in a time where lying is OP, the truth is basically whatever anybody wants it to be, and there's no sense of like, this is real, this is what we're doing, like this is what is actually, the facts. And instead it's just whatever people want it to be. And I don't like living in that world. Not a fan. Gives me a headache. Um anyway. Yeah, so I don't know. I get it, but God, I hate it here.
Well, they have done a complete 180, of course, and they've decided that actually they know better than real Venezuelans. So in case you've been living under a rock this holiday season, which by the way, good for you, if so, that's wonderful, but this photo of Venezuelan president, dictator Nicolas Maduro, being captured by Donald Trump and being flown back to America, quite literally broke the internet on Saturday morning, and I know who I am going to be for Halloween. Now, just a funny social media tidbit.
Is she saying she's gonna be Maduro for Halloween? I actually want to see that, if that's the case. Can we hold her to that? Halloween's quite a ways off, but when October rolls around, I hope people are like, hey, remember when you said you were going to dress up as kidnapped Maduro for Halloween? Because that's crazy. That's crazy, Brett.
Bit here, you can see that he is wearing a Nike tracksuit. That specific Nike tracksuit sold out almost immediately. So again, people are getting ready for Halloween. Just 10.
I love capitalism. I'm a capitalist. What the fuck? I hope that's true. You know what? I hope that's true, that fucking tracksuit sold out immediately, because what the fuck? What the fuck? Why? Why? Like, what are you doing? Who's buying that shit? Are you kidding? Okay. All right. No, let's chill.
10 months in advance. Anyway, moving on. One thing that I do want to say that I feel like we all could agree on, like before we get into the, arguments and the nuances and the back and forth of what this means for America, the one thing that I do think we can and should.
Okay, I am not speeding this up. We are on normal time speed. Yeah, no, she originally got her start on the what was it, the Daily Wire with Ben Shapiro. So, no, she is very much a right-wing mouthpiece. And I'm familiar with her enough in that regard. I love watching right-wing influencers and kind of just like trying to like get a vibe for them. I don't know why. It's one of my favorite things to do. I can't lie to you. My brain's rotten. I'm not watching this sped up. Like, that's just as fast as she talks. So there's that. That's one thing that I don't know what to make of that. Some people are just fast talkers, so I can't really. I myself am a fast talking girly, so I understand it. She might have ADHD, and like she might be an ADHD girly. I don't know. If anybody knows that lore about her, let me know. But that would be my guess. But I myself am a fast talking girly, so I get it. And so I won't judge her too hard on that, but I try to slow it down for when I'm, streaming and stuff, and I have to like actually formulate my thoughts, so that helps a little bit. But yeah. Okay, let's see what she's got. We're only a minute in. I wanna get a better grasp of what are the comments saying. I'm from Venezuela. Okay, I'm not reading all of that. I'm sorry. As a Venezuela, as a at talking fast is something Ben Shapiro also does. It's a debate tactic. Yeah, yeah. I don't know if she's doing that, because I don't know if she's a debater. I don't know if I've ever seen her out here doing debates. She might, but she did get her start under, the Daily Wire, so she might have picked that up from old Benny Boy. Who knows? But
should all agree on.
I was gonna look at the comments. What were they saying? Venezuelan flag will now appear in liberals' bios across social media. It took 75 days for them to go from no kings to leave the dictator alone. 2 months ago, no kings, now free the dictator. Why are they comparing that? Like, that's not even like a good comparison. Like, I get what they're trying to imply, but I mean, it's okay. And I mean, God, I don't even want to get into it because I don't want to I don't want to entertain this idea of just I'm not saying that, like, Maduro doesn't have his issues. I'm sure he does. I know he does, but I don't want to go back and forth on like, oh, Maduro's a dictator, blah blah blah, because I just don't think that this was something that America should have done. If Maduro was, enacting a genocide like Benjamin Netanyahu, then we could maybe have a conversation. We could talk about it in that case. In that case, yeah, I do think that America should step in. I think America should step in when it comes to Benjamin Netanyahu. I think America should have arrested Benjamin Netanyahu when he was in Florida like a couple weeks ago or whatever. But they didn't. So it's kind of hard for me to, sit here and be like, okay, but like, yeah, it doesn't add up, doesn't work out, math ain't mathin', not having it.
Is that our military is so bad. What happened Friday night, Saturday morning was so freaking epic. Like, I felt like an eagle, like, ah!
Who is this for? Also, so freaking epic. I can't go too hard on her for saying stuff that sounds like it's a little dated. That's what we'll say. I say sick. I say oh god, what else do I say? I definitely say things that are like a little bit dated. They're not like the most up to date lingo, but so I can't like go too hard on her on that front, but so freaking epic is very it's very like Disney Channel actually. It's not even like dated. It's just very very Disney, very Nickelodeon-esque. Also, this eagle. This is a screenshot right here. Hold on. I gotta move this real quick because I just need this real quick. Sorry, I can't. Like, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. There we go. There we go. That's Brett Cooper, everybody.
Like, through my veins. And I was trying to think of like why it meant so much to me, even though I do have concerns about what we're doing there. And I think it's because like I grew up under Obama
No, see, that's interesting because she keeps going like, oh, I really love it, even though I do have concerns, but like I'm really into it. But like, like which one is it? Which one is it? Do you like it or do you have concerns or like? Okay.
completely dismantling our military. And we just lived through Biden, putting all of this emphasis on DEI in the military. Like, our military has been turned into a laughingstock, even though there were incredible men and women that were still there, that were enlisted, that were, going overseas, that believed in the cause and the mission of being in the American Armed Forces. It had kind of become a joke. And our military had also become connected to things that I personally, as an American, was not proud of. Everything that we did in Iraq, the never-ending wars in Middle East, like, that was not giving any kind of like positive connotation. But going in the middle of the night and kidnapping a country's communist dictator, taking out Iran's nuclear facilities in like 5 minutes with the freaking Dorito flying planes, like, our boys have had some incredible moments. And after years of hearing about the DEI bullshit running our military, this was just amazing to see.
god, take a shot every time she says DEI. Oh my god, we get it. You hate DEI. Like that's that's an that oh god, how do I word this? That talking point is very close to, it's very much the administration's talking point, and it's dated. It's a little old. Like we're kind of past that. The administration keeps harping on it as well. You'll hear Trump come out in his like speeches and stuff and be like, "Yeah, we've gotten rid of DEI and blah 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 and blah 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 blah." And so that's very much aligned with that. But also it is just kind of dated. Like no, I don't know who that's. I don't know if that's even working on like the hardcore, Trump supporters at this point. I mean, like the ones who will eat up everything that he says, but I mean, they're just kind of like, I mean, that's just got to be like, oh, okay, yeah, like whatever at this point, right? But I don't know. Maybe it means more to them than I think it does. It probably does, but so I don't know. She's really harping on that part, but
So I think that is a place where we all could agree, hopefully. Like Will Chamberlain posted and said, I really had no idea that our military was this capable. We flipped a switch, turned off every one of Venezuela's defensive systems, infiltrated the residence of the head of state, kidnapped him, killed his security, and waltzed out without taking a single casualty. Yes, like if nothing else happened, I do think that Trump has at least put the fear of God in a few world leaders, so that's a good thing. Anyway, now moving on to the debate aspect, while the left is melting down over optics and debates over whether Nicolas Maduro was actually a dictator, because of course socialism has never been done right, the right is asking really important questions. They're asking, is seizing Venezuela's oil actually American?
I think it's funny that she's acting like those are those are like the main things that the left has been talking about, and not what I assume she's about to say the right has been talking about. But I imagine a lot of what she's going to say the right has been talking about is what the left has also been talking about, but we'll see.
First, or is this just Iraq 2.0 with a fresh coat of paint, which is something that I personally am very concerned about. Now, I will be the
Yeah, that sounds a lot like what leftists have been saying, huh? That sounds a lot like what, except they're not really posing it as a question. They're just kind of saying it as, yes, this is this is Iraq again, or this is Afghanistan again, or this is, whatever again, or this is he's doing it for oil. So I love when people get so excited about Trump's anti-DEI nonsense. Like, yeah, it's that, and then also like they obviously don't include the accessibility, which is like the other sort of part of that acronym that gets left out. And so it's like you're also in favor of them making things less accessible, and it's just a whole, it's very much like a filter. It's very much like, okay, this conversation can end here. Because I don't know what you want me to say. You want me to sit here and argue with you over DEI? I'm good. Like I got it. It's fine.
first to admit that I am not an expert on geopolitics. I've never said that I am, but I will at least try to walk you through the arguments and what I am thinking. Now, before we dive into this, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, ring that notification bell if you never want to skip one of our amazing episodes, and if you want behind the scenes content, farm vlogs, which are very fun, I must say, head on over to cooperconfidential.com. That is
Farm vlogs. Wait, she's got farm vlogs? cooperconfidential.com. I mean, does she link it in the bio, or do I have to actually like type it in? Oh, she's a preborn girly too. Oh wow, that's the one that like tries to get people to not have abortions, right? Where they're like they do like ultrasounds or whatever. I don't know their actual game plan, but they do like an ultrasound or whatever for people who are pregnant, and they're like, you don't have an abortion. Something like that. Candace Owens is also sponsored by them. Look, I can't judge her too hard. I myself am not a geopolitics girl. I'm an expert of geopolitics, so I can't go too hard on her on that, you know. But yeah, I mean, I imagine it's not the most shocking thing to learn about her. Here we go. Wait, Cooper Confidential. If I have to sign up for something, I'm out. Yep, I fucking called it. uh, $60 a year or $6 a month. That's crazy. That's crazy. You can get an access code. This is your gateway to uninterrupted insights, behind the scenes access, and a community that values truth over trends. Joining Cooper Confidential means you're not just a viewer, you're part of the movement that supports independent creators and challenges the status quo. Yeah, because when I think about challenging the status quo, I immediately think of Brett Cooper. I mean, come on. That's a radical if I've ever seen one.
Our subscription platform. I hope you guys enjoy it. All right, all conversations about Venezuela have been about drugs and the cartel. And so, at face value, when Maduro was captured early Saturday morning, everyone was talking about how important this was, how we needed to do this to stop the flow of drugs into our country. But the thing is, a lot of people looked around and they went, okay, well, if we're doing all of this about drugs, then why are we not taking a stance that is this drastic, this severe when it comes to the Mexican cartel? Well, very quickly, people realized that this was not actually about the drugs. Possibly more importantly, capturing Nicolas Maduro and toppling his regime was about oil. It was about oil and keeping our enemies out of the Western Hemisphere, aka our backyard, and possibly even election fraud. As some context,
It was just about oil. You could have left it at that. You didn't need to add all the other stuff. It's just about oil.
for anybody who is not up to date on the history of Venezuela, I certainly was not, again, not an expert here, but I think we all should at least be on the same.
I suspect you're still not up to date on the history of Venezuela, but we'll see what she's got. Girl, what? Who's been talking about Mexican drug cartels? No, she is not necessarily wrong. Trump has been mentioning going after Mexico, and how the cartels are in Mexico, and that Claudia Scheinbaum can't handle it, and all sorts of shit. So I don't know if that's what she was referencing at that point, but that has been part of the discussion as of late. It's been Mexico, Cuba, and Greenland that he's talked about going after again. Like those are like the three that he keeps going back to. So I don't know what that means for you know, the future here, but I don't know. I think if he goes for any of the three, I do think it will actually be Greenland, because Trump, when he really wants to do something, he talks about it a lot. He's talked about Greenland a lot. Like, he keeps making me really nervous, the amount of times he talks about wanting to go after Greenland and how much he needs it for national security.
Page. Now, as some context for those of us who are not Venezuelan history and political experts, Venezuela went from being one of Latin America's poorest countries to the world's fourth largest economy by the 1950s. And the reason was because of oil. Massive oil reserves worth up to $45 trillion. And you can see it right here. Proven crude oil reserves in barrels 2024. Venezuela is outpacing everyone. However, by the 1980s, foreign influence and socialist policies had begun draining that wealth rapidly. And communist leader Hugo Chavez nationalized the entire oil industry. And obviously, when you nationalize anything, that just does not turn out well.
Now, I am personally not equipped to dissect this explanation from her. I am not a expert on Venezuela and Venezuelan history, but I would highly suggest that you do your own research rather than taking her at face value here. I'm sure that this is probably a lot more complicated than she is letting on. Just saying. Just want to make that clear. I personally cannot go through this myself right now. It would take a lot of researching things on the fly here because I'm just not an expert on Venezuela myself, but I would suggest not taking what she says here, you know, with like at face value, or not putting. I would just do your own fucking research, you know. Be a real person.
We have learned that. That's why communism and socialism does not work. Anyway, he pushed everyone out, including America.
Like, she very much has an angle here of communism bad, socialism bad. So I just would take what she says, knowing that that is the direction she is wanting to go in here.
American companies, and he basically dismantled and ruined the entire oil industry there. Then came Nicolas Maduro, his successor, and Venezuela's complete collapse. Now, in 2018, Nicolas Maduro won the election to be president, but most Venezuelans believe that this was stolen. And let me be clear, the people of Venezuela did not see Nicolas Maduro and his government as a legitimate government. They see Maduro as a dictator. And that is a really important key to this story, as the political right and left in America are just duking this out. Because if everything that is said about him is true, he has in fact earned that title as dictator. Refusing to leave office, crimes against humanity, silencing dissidents, political persecution, what ultimately led to his arrest, what he was indicted in the United States for, is running a narco state from the presidential palace.
Now, this part I can perhaps add a little bit more context to, because I do believe that we have already determined that this is just like not true. Like, I think that the cartel that they accused him of being a part of doesn't even exist, if I'm correct. Hold on. Let's see what I can find here. Oh, jeez. Still in. Okay. Yeah. So, unbelievable after months of propaganda claiming Maduro is the head of the dangerous drug smuggling cartel. The US government has admitted it was all a ruse in order to kidnap a sitting head of state. And this is a New York Times headline. Justice Department drops claim that Venezuela's Cartel de los Sols is an actual group. I could probably find the actual article. Hold on. Found it. But I don't have a witchamajig, so 1 second. Sorry, but I'm not getting a subscription to the New York Times. Y'all can eat a dick. Okay. Last year, before capturing President Nicolas Maduro, the Trump administration designated a Venezuelan slang term for drug corruption in the military as a terrorist organization and said he led it. So, mind you, why were Brett and Abby swapped by their parents? I do think that she is, like, possibly secretly related to Ben Shapiro. I'm just, like, I could see a little bit of nepotism happening here, you know? But they don't want to admit it. I don't know. I could see it. That'll be my Brett Cooper conspiracy theory. She's secretly Ben Shapiro's niece or something. I don't know. Probably a cousin. Um, yeah, so the Justice Department has backed off a dubious claim about President Nicolas Maduro that the Trump administration promoted last year in laying the groundwork to remove him from power in Venezuela, accusing him of leading a drug cartel called Cartel de los Sols. That claim traces back to a 2020 grand jury indictment of Mr. Maduro, drafted by the Justice Department in July 2025, copying language from it. The Treasury Department designated Cartel de los Sols as a terrorist organization. In November, Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State and President Trump's national security advisor, ordered the State Department to do the same. But experts in Latin American crime and narcotics issues have said it is actually a slang term invented by the Venezuelan media in the 1990s for officials who are corrupted by drug money. And on Saturday, after the administration captured Mr. Maduro, the Justice Department released a rewritten indictment that appeared to tacitly concede the point. Prosecutors still accused Mr. Maduro of participating in a drug trafficking conspiracy, but they abandoned the claim that Cartel de los Soles was an actual organization. Instead, the revised indictment states that it refers to a patronage system and a culture of corruption fueled by drug money. Interesting. Yeah, so just making shit up. Like, just making shit up. I don't know what to say. That's what they do. It's what they've done this whole fucking time. It's just made shit up. I don't understand why people believe them.
But if you don't believe me, let's hear it from a Venezuelan.
You know what we have had to deal with all of these years? The government kills this.
God, and I'm kind of tired of people using Venezuelans. And I don't want to sound like I'm like disregarding the feelings of Venezuelans, because I'm not. But I am just a little bit tired of people using Venezuelans who are perhaps having feelings that are maybe a little bit more complex, a little bit more, nuanced than just this person that they don't like has been taken out of power, and they're probably going to have positive feelings about that. And instead of, considering the wider sort of factors at play, they just kind of launch into, oh, look at the Venezuelans. The Venezuelans are saying that they're happy this is happening. Hey, look at the Venezuelans. The Venezuelans are happy. And it's like, I don't know, man. Get back to me in like a year and let's see if they're still happy. Get back to me in 5 years and we'll see if they're still happy about this. I just, I don't know. I think it's maybe a little bit, putting the cart before the horse, getting a little bit excited about something and not really taking the moment to think about the further implications of everything. But I also can understand that people are gonna have their reactions, but that's just my, so I'm just saying. Maybe we can stop bringing out Venezuelans and being like, hey, look at what this Venezuelan is saying. It's just very, it's very, I don't know. Like, if your own opinion can't stand on its own without having to drag out some Venezuelans to be like, hey, this is my opinion. Like, my opinion's backed up by these Venezuelans. It's kind of like, I don't know. Just stand on your own opinion. Stand on it, Brett.
Civilians. The government attacks the civilians with fire weapons, even though the civilians have no weapons. So do you really think that these people were going to leave if we asked them pretty please? We have asked them by protesting, and what do we get? Bombed, we get shot. The government hires mercenaries so they can go and dissipate the crowds on the protest. So what did we do? We don't protest anymore. Hundreds of thousands of people have died along the years just for having a different opinion, for having an opinion against the government. We just came to a point where we thought nothing's going to change. We had no hope. We just gave up.
That is the reality that Venezuelans have been facing for the last 26.
Like, and that sucks. But hey, yo, I still don't think that my government should have gone into your fucking country and kidnapped your president, dog. What do you want me to say? Like, is there no step between doing nothing and kidnapping Nicolas Maduro to bring him back to the United States to face trial for his alleged crimes of drug trafficking? Of all things, of all of the things that he's allegedly done, we're bringing him back to try him on drug trafficking? None of the supposed human rights violations, none of the, other shit that he's done that you're mad at him for, like, none of that. It's the drug trafficking. That's the part that's the most important. Right. Sure. I just it doesn't really work for me. So, I don't know. Again, I don't know. I just think that if you're excited about this, again, get back to me in like a year, get back to me in like 5 years. I think we will all be perhaps on the same page by then. Her bringing up Venezuelan opinions is very, I have a ton of black friends, I'm not racist energy to me. Yeah, it does have that sort of taint to it. I do think that is the kind of vibe it gives off, and I just think that if you're gonna, have an opinion, you just stand on it. Just sort of like I'm sure I could find some Venezuelans that agree with me. I don't know how many, but I'm sure I could find some. Does that mean that my opinion is automatically valid now? I don't know. Apparently my mother was eating a pork chop and she turned away to do something and she looked back and my cat was licking it. So I don't know what to tell her. She should not have left her pork chop unattended. That sounds like a her problem to me.
6 years. So tensions obviously have been rising, and since then they have been saying to the United States, please help us, do something. You're right there. You're so close to us. Can't you do anything to help us? And the United States was allegedly listening. Our politicians certainly made it seem like that. In fact, Biden even campaigned on helping Venezuela back in 2020. Just read this tweet. He said, Trump talks tough on Venezuela, but admires thugs and dictators like Nicolas Maduro. As president, I will stand with the Venezuelan people and for democracy. And as we know now, those were empty statements. Kamala posted things like this. What is happening in Venezuela is a crisis. People who have fled Maduro's dictatorial regime deserve safety and protection. As president, this is when she was running, I would immediately extend TPS status to Venezuelans. It is the right thing to do. America must show moral leadership in this hemisphere. She also said the U.S. must immediately condemn Maduro's violence against his own people. There is no excuse for this. The Venezuelan military and security forces must demonstrate restraint. The Venezuelans deserve a free and fair election and a peaceful transfer of power. So it's just a lot of empty words. It's like, no, let's just bring in a bunch of immigrants into our country and we're going to condemn things on social media because we hate him and we know it's bad. We're standing with you.
Were they supposed to go kidnap Nicolas Maduro? Like, is there no option between doing nothing and invading a sovereign country to kidnap their, like, what do you... Am I stupid? Is it me? I know I said I'm not a geopolitics expert, just like Brett here. Brett also said that. Me and Brett are on the same page when it comes to geopolitics, but I mean not on the same page. We're on like the same level of education, I imagine. I don't suspect she's got much more when it comes to that topic than I do. But like, am I crazy? Is it me? Like, what is it? Because I just don't see how we have to go from 0 to 100, you know? Is there no point in between where we do something that doesn't involve invading and kidnapping? I'm sorry. I'm getting too much into the Venezuela stuff. I came here to find out what was appealing about Brett Cooper. I still have not figured that out, but we've got a bit to go.
But from all the way over here, behind our screens on social media. Anyway, they did nothing over the 4 years that they were in office, and just before they left office, this was a year ago now, Biden raised the bounty on Maduro's head to $25 million. That's all they did. So let's just take that in for a second. The Democrats literally campaigned on helping the Venezuelans. They had a bounty of $25 million for anything that would...
Hey, how's it going? How is it going?
lead to Maduro's arrest, and nothing happened. But now that Trump has actually captured him and arrested him and brought him back to the United States, the Democrats have decided that no, actually now they are holier than thou, and they have done a 180 switch because they can't be happy about anything. They need something to be angry about. And so now let's look at what Kamala tweeted just a couple of days ago. She said, Donald Trump's actions in Venezuela do not make America safer, stronger, or more affordable. Oh, like you cared about that before, Kamala. That Maduro is a brutal, illegitimate dictator does not change the fact that this action was both unlawful and unwise. We've seen this movie before. Wars for regime change or oil that are sold as strength but turn into chaos, and American families pay the price. Okay, now the warmongers are suddenly worried about what Trump is doing. The American people do not want this. They are tired of being lied to. This is not about drugs or democracy. It is about oil and Donald Trump's desire to play the regional strongman. If he cared about either, he wouldn't pardon a convicted drug trafficker or sideline Venezuela's legitimate opposition while pursuing deals with Maduro's cronies. The president is putting troops at risk, spending billions, destabilizing a region, and offering no legal authority, no exit plan, and no benefit at home. America needs leadership whose priorities are lowering costs for working families, enforcing the rule of law, strengthening alliances, and most importantly, putting the American people first. Okay, Kamala, so now you are America first. Now you want to strengthen alliances overseas when you and Biden did nothing to help that. In fact, you just made foreign affairs worse. You want to lower costs for working families and make sure that Trump is in office doing that.
She does have a very intense sort of vibe. Yeah, I'm not getting it. So again, look, as someone who has watched a lot of I don't know, let's say Candace Owens. Candace has a vibe about her, you know? She brings you in. She does draw you in with her sort of insanity, and she kind of makes it so you can't get out of it. And then Brett, I'm trying to put myself, despite being, you know, Gen Z myself, I'm trying to put myself into the mindset of the average Gen Zer, because I don't consider myself the average Gen Z mind. I kind of get it. She's very it does kind of feel like you're kind of talking to a friend. I could see it does give your sort of high energy kind of hyper friend giving you a lore dump on what's been going on or something, and you know, just kind of delving into her opinions. So I get it. I get it a little bit. I do suspect people think she's pretty, so there's that. I mean, yeah, she's not ugly. She's not ugly. I'm not saying she's she yells with a smile. That is a good way to describe it, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I imagine people think she's pretty, so that's another one. That's another point for her. But for me, for someone who's obviously more, you know, chilled out, a little bit more relaxed, she's a little bit too intense for me. I'm not sure I could regularly sit through her videos, but I guess I understand the appeal a little bit, just a little bit. I'll give her flowers if I feel, she deserves them. But I don't know, cuz like her audience she looks like Ben Shapiro's little sister. That is honestly my new conspiracy theory. I do think she is just related to Ben Shapiro. I think that there was some nepotism happening here, and I would put money on her being related to Ben Shapiro. I don't know how they're related, but I would not be surprised if it came out at some point that Brett Cooper and Ben Shapiro were in fact related, because she does look like a like a miniature Brett. Like she does look like his, sister or whatever, but younger. Um I wouldn't say he was kidnapped. He did invite the US to come get him, did he? Communists are upset Trump toppled the communists. That's as far as their thoughts go. Oh god. What do you think the Russians and Chinese want here? What is happening? What is happening? I'd be crude and say he had an affair with her, but he's very loudly admitted to being bad sex. Yeah, I don't think they hooked up. I think that, or she's his daughter. I think she's a little bit too old to be his daughter, no? She's like what, my age, I think? I actually don't know how old Brett Cooper is. Let's see if we can find out. I tried to find out her audience demographic earlier, but I couldn't find anything. Yeah, I'm a little bit older than her, 24. Um, how old is Ben Shapiro? How old is Ben Shapiro? 41. I mean, he would have had to have her pretty young, but also Ben Shapiro's only 41? That seems crazy to me. Why did I kind of thought he was older. That seems like I feel like he's been around longer than that, but like I guess not. It's always weird because there's people who I feel like have been around longer than they have, and then there's people who have not been around nearly, and then there's people who have been around a long time, but it doesn't feel like they've been around that long. Like Alex Jones, he's been around a long ass time, but I feel like he really popped off with the like Sandy Hook stuff, but he's been around like a long ass time. The beard made him younger. Yeah. That's crazy. I did not know that he was 41. Huh. All right. Well, it's possible. Um but I doubt it. I doubt it. Also, she's married. That's crazy. That's actually probably like the least crazy thing about her, actually. That makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. I will say, she does remind me of a lot of like girls I went to school with, so there is a almost comforting familiarity in that regard, even if I didn't love those people. um yeah, right, yeah, like there's like Alex Jones clips where he's talking about like I know that um yeah, he's been around a long ass time, but like my brain like doesn't like recognize it sometimes, and it's just like, and then I like will see like a clip of him talking about like 9/11 or something, and I'm like, oh fuck. Like uh god, what else has she done videos on? I'm over the Venezuela stuff for now. TikToker's boyfriend is so cringe. I can't look away.
All right, jump scare, guys, because we are not doing politics today. I know we've been talking a lot about politics, a lot about Trump and foreign affairs and all of the things, but not today. Today we're going back to our roots, and we need to talk about a TikTok story because
she has kids? That also makes sense, actually. Oh, wow. Sometimes I feel like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Sometimes I'm like, God, am I like wasting my life? And then it's like, but I'm good. Like, I'm good. Yeah, we were babies. It's true. We were babies. I'm just kind of like, I'm good. I don't like, if I had a child right now, I think I would be losing my mind. So I'll let people like Brett handle that, you know? I'll let her handle that shit.
something, to channel Wolf of Wall Street, something came across my desk that was simply too cringe and too insane not to talk about. So late last year, an article from British Vogue went mega viral declaring that having a boyfriend was now embarrassing for women in 2025.
Okay. See, I don't know. Like I feel like does this appeal to, because I feel like a lot of the stuff she does, a lot of like the more culture-y stuff that she does, it comes from like she takes it from an angle that I feel like appeals to more young men than young women. So I don't know if her main demographic is young women, but um like a lot of these comments, I obviously can't be sure, but I feel like I'm seeing a lot of men names in here. Which makes sense. I mean, it's not surprising.
And even worse, that having a boyfriend might be Republican coded. And so obviously this had people up in arms, people were debating, it was featured on Fox News, it was a whole ordeal. But at the time, I didn't really understand what this article was even trying to say, and I didn't bother joining in on the outrage and hysteria. Like the whole thing just seemed dumb and ridiculous that I genuinely like did not care at all. Like when I read the article back then, it just felt like it was
God, she talks so fast. Like I almost want to slow her down. And I'm used to people talking fast. Like I have some fast talking friends. I myself talk very, very fast. But like I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. She's so fast. So it's like sometimes I'm like, what is she saying? Like
it was a bunch of very different premises all meshed together, basically furthering this idea, this feminist notion that women should not promote needing or wanting to be with a man. What's new? I was like, okay, feminists being feminists, do not need to talk about that. But then this week, my mind changed on that because again, something came.
see, like it's the anti-feminist angle. She needs to catch Ben in talking race. I think that would be fun to see. Have they? I mean, I'm sure they have like videos together, right? But I don't know if they've ever tried to out talk one another. But that would be interesting. But yeah, she's got this anti-feminism angle going here today. So I do think that a lot of her, like every time I have tuned into her to like kind of like see what I think, who I think she's attracting, I it always comes back to like younger men, I think. Um oh, I'm sure she has media training for sure. I don't think you can spend any amount of time at the Daily Wire and not get some amount of media training. Um Jeff Cannonberg. Having a boyfriend isn't cringe at all, but cataloging your entire experience and journey in every second of every part of your relationship is super cringe. Mark Monroe. Social media was the worst thing invented. Okay, Lindsay. Is it cringe to post all this? Yes. Would it be normal if she wasn't posting it? Yeah, probably. Did you see her and Pearly? No, I didn't. I don't actually. I don't. I know who Pearly Things is, but I don't pay a ton of attention to her. Did they have beef? Because that's hilarious. Oh, she did a Risa Tisa video? That's crazy. Notice that your closed caption is super accurate and just wanted to tell you it's appreciated. That's cute, actually. Like, that's cute. I've dated 2 girls who were chronically on social media. Never again. That's funny. I did not see their beef, but I suspect it was what was it over? I mean, why were they beefing? Her Twitter says she's a professional yapper and an aspiring farmer. That checks out. Nashville, Tennessee. I will say, all of the right wing, do all the right wing, like conservative people live in Tennessee, in Nashville? Because a lot of them do. A lot of the girlies seem to. I think that's where Candace lives. I think that's where Tommy Loren lives. What's going on in Nashville? I imagine that's where hold on. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of people living in Nashville. I'm pretty sure Candace lives there. Yeah, I am familiar with Pearly Things a little bit. I don't like keep up with her, but I've seen her around. She's like the redhead, right? She's got like red hair. That's like the one distinct thing I know about her. Like I can't think of anything else. Um but yeah, I am familiar with her a little bit as far as being a huge pick me and being very anti woman, but I don't know too much about I don't know like a whole lot about her. Every time I see her it's always some like it does tend to be her taking like a like not like the like taking like not even like the usual right wing stance, but like one that's like a little bit off enough to be like I also hate like to be like the pick me kind of stance. So I get what you mean. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I know who you're talking about for sure. But yeah. Um I am really curious like who do like right wing women watch? Like who do they watch? Like that has been my question for so long because I my prediction is that they're not online as much as other demographics, so perhaps they're not watching a lot of like but I do think they just also watch a lot of just like the men content creators and stuff like that. From what I've seen, from what I've been able to piece together through my limited research, it does seem like I don't know who they watch, but I haven't been able to like pin anybody down really, you know? Because it's not Tommy Loren. Nobody's watching Tommy Loren. Oh, man. I was gonna possibly look at the new episode of Her Take. I think I've had my fill of Brett Cooper for right now. I'm gonna be real, I don't want to watch her go through a 21-part series. Yeah, I don't think they're online that much. I think that, or if they are, I just don't know that they're watching like people as much as like I guess guys do, if that makes sense. But I don't know. I'm curious for sure. Maybe Ethan Klein. Maybe. There are a lot of I think that Ethan does still have a lot of women who are who I don't know, because I feel like Ethan has a lot of women who identify as more liberal, so I don't know if it's like the right wingers watching him these days. But honestly, are those women liberal? That's the real question, I guess. Because I would make an argument that some of them aren't. Yes, that is definitely true. Most of H3's audience is women, which is so fascinating to me. That is something that is very fascinating to me. I do not understand that, but like I kind of do, I guess. Like, no, I don't. I don't. I can't even pretend. I don't get it. Like I get it, but I don't. Like I get like on like the more complicated like level how we end up here, but I just purely from just like why was it worth it? Yeah, let's here. We can do Her Take. Mostly because I haven't checked in on Anna in a while. Haven't checked in to see what Anna's doing in a while. And it's mostly just whatever. Here we are.
Trump wants the oil, he wants the resources.
And it's only 48 minutes, so I probably won't watch the whole thing right now, but I get it. Like my mom is a housewife, it's kind of boring. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think that yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. It's definitely interesting. I would love to poll like I guess a lot of them are watching Candace maybe. Candace does have a lot of she likes to call them her mommy sleuths, right? So I imagine she has a lot of like housewives and state like mothers and stuff in her audience, but they brought Ann Coulter onto this episode, I'm pretty sure, which is just the last time she was here, she straight up was like I needed to be a lot closer to 6 million Jews before, like 6 million people killed before I'm willing to compare something to the Holocaust. And it was just the way she said it was so like I think I actually have it because I made a fucking TikTok. It was the only TikTok I've made. Hold on. Okay, I made 2 TikToks, but
When we look the other way,
here. This is the last time Ann Coulter was on Her Take.
that when we look the other way as atrocities occur, when do you get into a World War II situation when you've exterminated 6 million Jews? Like, where is the line?
It's got to be a lot closer to exterminating Jews than, and I'm sick of every world leader.
Huh?
Like, what do you mean? It's gotta be a lot closer to 6 million Jews. Like and subscribe. Yeah. 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 I just that was the last time Ann Coulter was on her take.
That when we look the other way as atrocities occur, when do you get into a World War II situation when you've exterminated 6 million Jews? Like, where is the line?
It's got to be a lot closer to exterminating Jews than, and I'm sick.
Like, what do you mean? Okay. Oh god. I can't. I can't. I can't. All right. Oh, am I not subscribed to her take? That's funny. I would have thought I subscribed by now. All right. They're gonna talk. I just, I've talked so much about Venezuela. I don't even know if I want to do this. It's getting kind of late, actually. I might should wrap things up, but um, maybe I'll stream tomorrow and we could do this, cause it is getting a little bit late. I started late because my stupid computer needed to restart, and then yeah. But I'm trying to stream longer. I really just I'm a baby and my setup is very uncomfortable. Let's just say that. I don't have a desk. I'm not I'm not sitting at a desk or anything. I'm sitting on the floor of my I know, I feel so bad. Um I'll go for a little bit longer because I do feel bad. But uh I am sitting I'm sitting on the floor with like no desk chair or any desk or anything like that, and I just have like a second monitor attached to my laptop, so it's a little bit of a janky setup, but we can do a little bit of her take. Um but mostly because I do want to see what Ann Coulter has to say about this craziness. We'll skip the coming up next. This has been I don't know how this has been. Like, how have they been doing since Jillian left?
Let me make that very clear.
Because I haven't watched her take in a while. I have not checked in to see how they've been doing. Not great. Not their best. Can say that. Huckabees, yeah, 17K. Eh, how is Jillian doing? Because I saw Jillian was doing pretty well, actually.
Like,
sure.
Can you tell me all the things that you've been called?
I mean,
French
I think you said
fries.
we only have like an hour here, right? So,
French fries do sound pretty good. She's had a few that have popped off. Like, yeah, like this one. This one's got like 338K, which is decent for Jillian. Decent for Jillian. Her coverage of Minnesota fraud, which is interesting. So I'm guessing she covered like the actual Minnesota fraud that was happening before Nick Shirley went in and did his whole thing, because this is from a month ago. Yeah, I mean that's where a lot of people first encountered Jillian is workout stuff, or what, The Biggest Loser. but she's trying her hand in politics now. See, now this one, 77K. People were not interested in the CIA insider exposing Epstein, apparently. Or this one, which was about ICE and immigration. She's very Islamophobic. that is Jillian's big thing. That you'll always catch her being Islamophobic. Mamdani aims to take personal property. That almost got 500K. That's not bad. No, I'm so toxic. I love view watching. I love view watching right-wing figures. It's so fun. Cuz what are you like cuz how are you Jillian Michaels and you have videos that are getting less than 1,000 views and you have 500,000 subscribers? Like that. Like something's wrong, man. Like you Yes, I did know that she's a lesbian and has a black daughter. She talks about her black daughter all the time, especially when she wants to be racist. She is always bringing up her black daughter. Yes, I did know that. I in fact did know that. uh because she plays those cards all the time. It's very fun. It's very fun actually. Like take a shot every time Jillian Michaels mentions she's a lesbian and how she doesn't support trans people though. Oh, I love this. Race is made up and it's time to move on. Like I'm so happy that you had this man on to say that. Oh, Jillian. Maybe that's why she adopted. I don't want to say that she's that nefarious, but I imagine that there are probably some like deeper psychological conversations one could have about why a definitely racist white woman felt the need to adopt a black child. There's probably like you could probably delve into that a little bit. Like you could probably dig into that a little deeper and find some stuff, but I don't know that it was necessarily a conscious decision on her part. If that was the scenario. But I think also is what's her face not on the show anymore either. I haven't seen her.
Install puppet.
Like it seems like they've lost. It seems like it's just no, maybe. I don't see her, and I don't think she's been on here in a while. What's her name? I always want to call her Sydney because she's from Australia, but her name is Amy. It's Amy Dangerfield. Okay, she was on like a month ago, for sure. She was on back when they were talking about the government shut down Tucker Carlson. Because I think it's weird if she's not on here anymore because she's already under the Valuetainment umbrella. So I don't know what she's doing. I don't think she's even uploading on her own page very much. But maybe. And Lindy Lee has nowhere else to go, so she is here for the long run, I imagine. Pretty sure adopting is pretty conscious. It's not like no, I mean like I don't know if it was like a conscious decision for her to adopt a like a black child because she herself was racist and she wanted to like cover for that. I don't know if that was like her thought process. it's possible that that could have been like a subconscious thing that possibly, you know, influenced her thinking. Like, I don't know if that was like a conscious decision on her part to be like, I'm adopting this black child so I can defend my racism at some point. I don't know that I don't know that Jillian is thinking that hard, you know. Um yeah, no, um yeah, Jillian she quit, but there were four of them to begin with, and it was Jillian, um Anna, Lindy Lee, and Amy Dangerfield. Those were the four who started this journey here. Jillian quit after they were talking about Israel, and she didn't like that they were talking badly about Israel. And then a little bit later, Amy also seemed to stop coming on the show. And it seems to be just Anna and Lindy Lee left from the sort of start. But I don't know if Amy has even been, or hold on, I don't know if Amy's even been posting on her own page. Like on her own yeah, she's been doing stuff, yeah. Video essay. She's doing video Okay, hot take. Hot spicy take. I think that you don't get to call something a video essay unless it's at least 30 minutes long. That is my hot take of the evening. That if you want to call your videos video essays, I think they need to be at least 30 minutes long. At least 30 minutes. But I guess she's doing video essays now. Cash Patel's girlfriend is suing MAGA influencers. Why Silver Squeeze 2.0 is crushing Wall Street. Did I see what happened? Yeah, I did see the Rashid Ritchie stuff. I did want to cover that too. I do think I will definitely stream tomorrow so that we can get into some of that, because I did want to look at that. I did see some of it though, yeah. But I saw some of it, and then I saw that he was like not responding in the best way either. But I also think it's interesting because from what I understand, it's he's been accused of like lying about like his credentials, essentially, like degrees and stuff that he has. And one, I think it's interesting that so many people from TYT have not had the best sort of development, we'll say that. And I do think it's interesting that, because I personally think that, you know, like Jank and Anna have been not great this last like for quite a while. But it is interesting to see like even like the people that have been able to sort of escape the negative influence of Anna and Jank's pivot here are also getting like also have their own things going on that they're getting called out for now. Oh, he probably should have ignored it for sure. They're clearly diploma mills. I think that even if it's like, I don't even know that he needed to ignore it. I think he could have just said like I'm sorry, my bad. Like I fucked up and just owned up to it and moved on. Like I think that there wouldn't have been this much fuss about it, but when you start threatening to like sue people, people are going to start looking into it and being like, well, what's going on? Like, why are you threatening to sue somebody over this? Like, they're going to start paying attention even more at that point. So I think that if he wanted this to go away, he definitely should not have jumped to I'm suing. But also he has like legitimate degrees. Like it's not like he yeah, it does seem like there are not that many left. I don't even know who's left at this point. To be considered one of the sort of good people there, but I think it's definitely not Anna. I'm sorry. I try so hard to give Anna like at least a little bit of um what's the word? Not respect, I guess, but like recognition for how outwardly pro Palestine she has been. But she just she has so many moments, especially on her take, man, where she's just like watching her take and remembering um that she's supposed to be the progressive on the show, like the leftist on the show, is very like okay. uh I got my summer job in college. Yeah, I think that like I honestly don't even I honestly wouldn't even care that much. I personally like watching if I had been like a big fan of him or something and this had come out and he had just been like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I did that. I shouldn't have done that. My bad." And like moved forward trying to, repair the sort of relationship and repair the trust and that kind of thing. Like I would give him that chance. I would keep watching him. Like I wouldn't stop watching him, but um when he like turns around and starts getting, like it just shows that you have this it just makes me wonder like what else are you willing to, lie about and defend so aggressively even when called out for it. So it's just not a great look, but yeah. I don't know. I don't think there's a lot of things that people could have like come back from that they end up making worse when they sort of have a strong reaction to it as opposed to just owning up to it and being like, yeah, I should have just moved on from that. It happens quite frequently online, especially, and it's interesting because we've seen people come back from some pretty horrific things. So to think that you can't just own up to a thing that you did that's not even like close to some of the awful things we've seen people be able to recover from is very interesting to me because it's not that hard. We live in a very like as much as people like to act like, cancel culture and that kind of thing is like a big deal. We live in a fairly forgiving when it comes to like things like when it comes to like things like this, like lying or even just like certain awful things. We do live in a world that people I don't want to say that people are forgiving, but they're willing to ignore things. They're willing to overlook things quite a bit. Yeah, people have killed people and made a comeback. Like I think that you can get over certain things that are much smaller than that and be okay, but it's often the doubling down and the committing to the lie that ends up putting people off even more. So, I just wouldn't do that, I guess. Wouldn't recommend doing that for sure. Um okay. I do think I am going to have to wrap this stream up, but I will stream tomorrow and we will watch we will probably sit down and actually watch the the TYT Rashid Ritchie video. Take a look at that. Also I hate my roommate's leftovers. Yeah. And also maybe take a look at her take. We'll see. I'll be a little bit less fatigued about talking about Venezuela and just being angry about that. um, but we might take a look at this tomorrow. But for sure, I think we'll look at the Rashid Richie video because I am just interested to see how this year goes for TYT in particular, because I did see that the guy who did that video was talking about doing like some videos on TYT. So I am curious to see how this year goes for them. I I think it's been a long time coming, seeing some people perhaps get some like genuine pushback against TYT, and I would not be surprised if this was the year that really saw a sort of saw them take a big hit, I guess. Um because I do think a lot of people are kind of clocking into what is happening over there and how just how Jank and Anna have been moving this past year or so. But I don't know. It's interesting. It's very interesting to see, as someone who started I would probably say that like my um oh yeah, did I? That's cool. Yeah, I as someone who started watching, God, I guess I watched TYT like I want to say my senior year of. Oh, is your grandpa Venezuelan? Okay. Yeah, I don't know anyone who's Venezuelan personally, but I did start watching TYT my like senior year of high school, right? So that's like, God, 10 years ago now, which is crazy to say out loud. Like this year it will be 10 years. Um and I watched them probably like freshman year of college and that kind of thing, and you know, it's kind of petered off after that. So definitely like definitely like kind of like not my introduction to like political commentary, but definitely one of my first introductions to political commentary. um you should start streaming later, maybe. I definitely like streaming um in the evenings for sure, so but I did just I yeah, I do think it's interesting to see how TYT has sort of evolved over the last decade. Um as like kind of like just like my introduction to like political commentary and more of like a left leaning commentary too. Like it's interesting. It's interesting to see where I personally have ended up in that sort of journey and where TYT has ended up in that journey. Yeah. I think a lot of people probably did. Um especially with like they were very heavy on Facebook. That was where I started watching them. Um was like videos on Facebook and stuff like that. So I could definitely see that a lot of people were probably started watching them around that time, but or at least like in high school. Um but yeah, I think that it's interesting. It's I I'm curious to look back at some of like their earlier commentary and see if there were perhaps signs there or not. But I don't know. I do think people also just kind of change with age, of course, and I do think there's just a little bit of that happening here. But who knows? Who knows? It's yeah, TYT, I don't know what will happen. I think I think Jank first and foremost is a businessman. I think he will probably figure something out for TYT, but I could definitely see them hemorrhaging a lot of viewers this year, or a lot of support this year. If they continue on the trajectory they've been on, and if things sort of continue going as they have been, I could definitely see it. But who knows? It'll definitely be an experience. It'll be something we will observe together. All right. Oh, I did want to look at this too, but I definitely think I'm going to save this for tomorrow, possibly. We've got like more news sites talking about what happened with Grok finally, which is an up, which is definitely, you know, better than none at all talking about it. But you've got this from freaking Bloomberg, and it's Musk Grok AI generated thousands of undressed images per hour on X, and it's like 6,700 every hour that were identified as sexually suggestive or nudifying. Like, that's insane. That's insane. Jesus. Right, fries for sure. I gotta get some fries. They can't go too far right. I don't know. I definitely don't know. I could definitely see them. I don't know. I definitely don't. I don't know. I think that they picked a I think Anna just no. It hasn't. I don't think it has stopped because they haven't put in any like safeguards or anything to stop it. But I think Anna will leave TYT. That is my prediction. I think Anna's going to leave TYT. And I think at that point, it'll kind of just depend on what Jank does. But I think Anna's going to leave. Like, she's got one foot out the door already, I feel like. And I just think it takes something to finally make her make that leap. But, yeah, it's just, ugh, it's just so much. It's only weird. It's only been a week. We're like a week into the new year. Oh, dude, it's so crazy. All right, I gotta go. Thank you so much for watching. If you are watching, please do me a favor and hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, do all that lovely stuff. Just engage with the thing. Other than that, that's really all I got. I am going to try and stream tomorrow so we can yeah, it would. I mean, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. I could talk about it at length for a while. We could talk a little bit about it tomorrow maybe. I'll bookmark this for later and we can bring it up, but did she say she'll leave? I wouldn't be surprised if she left. I really do think she will leave. Cheese on fries is good. Cheese on fries is good. Thank you. Yeah, I am gonna go. I'll try and stream tomorrow for sure. But thank you guys for watching. Thanks for hanging out, and I hope you have a lovely night. So please take care of yourself, and catch you all later. Goodbye.